So, last thing that I want to do is Caleb Williams gave a commitment date of July 4th. Last I checked, 27 crystal balls, 27 to Oklahoma. But I want to piggyback that with a little bit of more news, right? So Emeka Egbuka got to talk to 247 Sports national guy Brandon Huffman. And he broke down Clemson, he broke down Ohio State, he broke down Oklahoma, he broke down his hometown Washington Huskies. Yo, man, the mere fact that Egbuka is still considering Oklahoma when he's considering Ohio State lean, I find fascinating, right? And most of what he likes about Oklahoma revolves around how they've been recruiting, specifically at quarterback. He names Caleb Williams and Dennis Simmons, which I think are the two best plays you have to make if you're Lincoln Riley. Check out what Dennis Simmons has done in the past with wide receivers, with Dede Westbrook, with Sterling Shepard, or does he predate Sterling? No, he had Sterling. Okay. And then with, Hollywood, CD, who did I miss?
Dede Westbrook.
Okay, yeah, coming out of JUCO. So if Emeka wanted to go to Oklahoma, nobody's turning down anything but their collar, right? But Heartline has been up on him since March of last year. Heartline also got Julian Fleming to get there. Mookie Cooper is over there. Garrett Wilson is over there. And Justin Fields is going to be gone. So how do you feel about Kyle McCord being your guy, or Jack Miller, or CJ Stroud, or whichever one of those quarterbacks ends up winning, but also joining that historic recruiting class? Because if they get him and JT Tuimoloau, you're talking about challenging for the best recruiting class in rankings history. And then Washington and Clemson are interesting to me. Clemson because they just picked up Trey Stellato, right? And I thought that countered with Justin Ross being out for the season and his football future being very much in question was interesting. But then, as I said, nobody's going to turn down Egbuka if he wants to come. And then Washington, how are you going to feel if you're Washington and you lose out on this kid? Like, help me with that, Colin, because like I feel that with Josh Proctor. I felt that with Dax Hill. I'm not sure it's the same, but is it?
No, I think there's definitely some comparisons there. I mean, RJ, if you look at the player rankings in this cycle, it's actually pretty staggering.
Yeah.
The amount of talent in the Washington area right now.
Yeah.
And the Huskies are seemingly losing out on everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be devastating. I mean, think about the absolute insanity that would take place if there were that many prospects in the state of Oklahoma and OU lost out on every single one. I mean, there's definitely some concerns if you're Husky fans to see guys in that state like Egbuka. I believe JT is in that state as well. Mm-hmm. There are some other guys like Calvert, who's a linebacker prospect, really good. I believe he's training towards USC. I mean, there's just a ton of dudes out in that state that are looking at other places. But obviously, when you talk about Egbuka in Oklahoma, Caleb Williams said in that little announcement, hey, when I announce on the 4th of July, there are going to be fireworks. And he seemed to make it indicate that he wasn't talking about the fireworks in the sky. He was talking about some other major announcements falling after him. So maybe Egbuka starts trending in that direction. Obviously, the wide receiver position in this class is really fun to follow. There are a lot of guys that could easily play for Oklahoma right now, but because of the ties and because of the pursuit of Caleb Williams specifically, they kind of had to narrow their search and focus on a few select guys to fill out that position. So you think about, okay, what could happen next? Maybe is it Egbuka, who has a very strong relationship with Caleb Williams? Is it Jaleel Farouk, who has indicated that Oklahoma is very much a player in his race? I'm very fascinated to see what happens after the Caleb Williams commitment, wherever he may be. I think we all kind of have an idea that Oklahoma is the front runner. So if the Sooners are, in fact, the case, does that mean they immediately overtake Heartline of Ohio State for Egbuka? Does that mean they immediately take over Maryland's pretty strong positioning for Farouk? I mean, there's a lot of weight to be carried when you talk about the other position players that could fill out alongside Caleb Williams. So the July 4th announcement date is a lot bigger than just getting a guy like Caleb Williams in the class. It means a lot about what the overall class picture will end up being.
Washington is kind of in its Belgium period, meaning like Belgium a few years back when they had the golden generation, where I thought that if they were ever going to win a World Cup, it was going to be with that squad. Because for Tongan, my goodness, Lukaku, Fellaini, like they were stacked, and I was so mad at them because I'm going, this is going to be the best Belgium team in the history of the world for all time, and you guys are squandering it because JT Tuimola, like Emeka Egbuka is the number 7 player in the country, and he's the number 2 player in Washington. Sam Heward is the number 20 player in the country, and he's the number 3 player in Washington. Like, what? How do you feel if you're Sam Heward and you are the number 1 player at your position and the number 3 player in your state? Like, come on, man. Like, along with guys like Julian Simon, who's committed to SC. He's a top 150 player. Clay Millen, that's going to be interesting because he's another quarterback, and we'll see what he ends up doing. But Junior Alexander is trending toward Arizona State. He's a top 250 player. So, Washington, goodness me, Jimmy Lake. Like, it's your first year. I understand it's a pandemic. I understand extended dead period. But damn, dog. Like, I don't know which would make me more upset as just a recruiting like a recruiting nerd. If Kamar Wheaton ends up to SMU or Egbuka ended up at Oklahoma. Because, like, for me, the real coup would be if Southern Methodist was able to get a 5-star running back that Oklahoma wanted. Like, it ain't like the Pony Express is down there. You know what I mean? It ain't like they're playing for college football playoff spots, all right? So, like, if Sonny Dykes was able to do that, that would be tremendous. But also, if Oklahoma could steal away the number 1 wide receiver in the country for the second time in 3 years, and a kid that everybody would bet to Ohio State right now, what a flex that would be. Almost like the kind of flex where you go from one 5-star quarterback to another 5-star quarterback, for those of you that think it's out of the question. So, Colin, is there anything else you wanted to add here?
No, man, I think that just about does it. It's always fun. Next time we got to make sure we ease up on the laugh, though. Next time we'll make sure we're on our P's and Q's. The next podcast.
Good God, man. Yes. All me. I have had a week, people. I have had a week. I mean, politically, sportsy. This conversation that I will never, ever be able to tell you guys about that I had with Colin. Yeah. Just give me a mulligan. Just give me one. Especially on the Kyrie Jackson stuff. Just let me have this. I need a moment. All right. Follow Colin on Twitter at @CKennedy247. At @CKennedy247. He's doing excellent work every day. This man is dropping knowledge. And of course, Brandon Drum gets you hooked up with the VIP stuff every morning. He's got something new. Man is working his butt off getting this news out there. And enjoy his video vlog series with, well, commits and guys that we expect might have Oklahoma at the top of their list. Those have included Bryce Foster, Cullen Montgomery. That's all over on the VIP board at OUinsider.com. Colin, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Always fun, dude.
All right, brother. Talk to you.